Life is what it is. Oh, hi. Yeah, I'll turn this down. We're doing a whole thing here. It's a special presentation. Oh, well, forget it. Anyway, I can't change the damn things. Reggie Watts is here, and he looks like this. There he is. I'm going to reach over the desk to do all this. Reggie Watts is here. We're doing a special presentation. Mrs. Ryan is here, too. It's Late Night Playset. Please like and subscribe. Comment below the whole time. We are going to be with you live for the hour on YouTube and the Instagram, and the show goes up to Spotify video and the podcast platforms afterwards. Mr. Reggie Watts and Nicole Shabbat Ryan and her Princeton Plainsboro shot from the TV show House she's wearing tonight. Late night set, whatever. What do you call this thing? What did you call this thing before? The late night show shit. Yeah, the late night show shit starts right now.
I was incorporating into a whole thing.
42 people here. Orlando Cars and Coffee's here. Some badges are being bought. Thank you. And now we will start this thing up. You trim your beard. You look great. And he did a shave. Everybody looks great. What's up, you guys? Kurt must be here. Oh, goodness gracious.
This is almost like it's the late night version, talk show version of like a precision HO scale model railroad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
used to model railroads.
Me too.
I was obsessed with it.
Me too. The scales and the forced perspective.
Yes.
Done.
Totally. I know.
I tell people, like, when you make the shoebox thing as a kid and for school, like a little diorama thing in the shoebox, it's the same exact thing. We just, you know, a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, but it's a set. So.
Well, you just came from one, and here you are at another one. I bet you can't wait to go home, but in an hour or so.
I'm stoked. I'm really excited to be here.
All right, let's see. Welcome back to the Instagram audience over here. Oh my gosh, there's all sorts of questions. We are going to get into Reggie's questions in a little bit. If I don't see him here, leave him on the Porsche Life on the post. I said that whatever. You know what I'm saying. You know how to do the thing.
I know
you know how to do the thing.
Words
are hard for me. It is Monday. We are with you on a Monday night. Not at 5 p.m. It's damn near 7. Holy crap. Monday Night Live. January 31st, Mrs. Ryan, 2022.
Wow.
I was so careful not to write 2021. Look what I wrote. What's wrong with me? I wrote 2020. Like my brain, instead
Made up
to
for it.
specifically not do
You're
this.
like, don't do 2021.
We've been trying to get you here for 2 years today. 2 years. I wrote this card 2 years ago.
That's why it's a slightly faded color.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Oh man, Monday Night Live. Now forgive me if I'm distracted because I've got to push the buttons over here. My little thing isn't working. Usually I have this little thing and it usually works, and I should have rebooted everything before, but I didn't. Hey, Jeff Zwart's here. Hi, Jeff Zwart. Jeffrey J. Dub is here. Orlando Cars and Coffee is here. Jared's Garage. Nate Callie. B. Barbrady. Vashi. Lots of people. Hey, everybody. If he's here, there's a lot more people than usual. And people are buying badges. Thank you for buying badges. Still don't know what that is, but I do know you're buying them, and we get a percentage of it, so I really, really am grateful, and so is the missus over here. Speaking of anniversaries, this is kind of a funny one. This is actually our anniversary for the first time we did our little test show. Technically, tomorrow is our anniversary because we did the real show tomorrow. But we did our little brief introduction and put it up on the 31st of January. Ready for this? 4 years ago, when we didn't know what the hell we were doing. It was just the two of us at a dining room table with Amazon microphones, and a little USB mixer, and had no clue what we were doing. In this same room, and I'm going to cut to the wide here just because it's ridiculous. Here we are with the actual stuff, like Reggie mentioned, the actual Letterman stuff, and then we created this whole micro television studio around it because that's all I know how to do.
In your dining room.
In our dining room.
Dining room, right?
They called it, I believe, I think it was a bonus room, but it's for sure we used it as the formal dining room. Yeah.
So cool.
All right, throw the Instagram audience up there as well. And what are we talking about tonight? There's a few things this is garbage. Don't need that. There's only a few things to mention before we get our special guest in here. Special Monday Night Live guest. The anniversary I just mentioned, viewer mail. Oh, we'll do that when you're in here because you were there when we got it. And foundation. There are some updates on the foundation. I'm not going to bore you with them, but the great news is we took the advice of some wonderful people that are smarter than us and said to set up a GoFundMe in the meantime. We did that. We set it up today, or it went live today. And there's a GoFundMe for I forget whatever it's called, but the Nicole MS Fund, Future Foundation Fund, whatever it is. There's a whole blurb. You can go to my profile when you're done with this chat, and you can look at it there if you want to see what it's all about. Grateful for any contributions, any donations, but obviously that is not mandatory to be our friend. Not at all required. Some assembly is required these days, unfortunately. That's part of what the foundation's about.
Yeah. And only you lucky person get to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, all the people who care about you, actually. There's a lot of us up at GVBC. You've got a mountain family growing up there.
I do. I've learned to lean on other people when I'm up there, but when it's just you and me.
The truth is, I think people like, back to the other thing, trying to skip over that part. Sometimes it's really awkward, uncomfortable. But I think you allowing other people to help you helps them. I think it makes them feel better. I think it makes them feel like, oh, they can. People want to help you. They want to make you feel more comfortable, even though that's a really tall ask. They want to help. So you letting them, I think, is a really. I finally got there,
and everyone calmed down and learned how to talk to everyone. So we're all coalescing a little better.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good. We're doing it.
Yeah. Shout out to the GVBC fam. It's crazy how that's becoming a movement. The good vibes thing. It's sort of just it's a thing, and it's not just LA. It's like everywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's great. That's like real.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a public figure. You have a voice. You are a genuine influencer. We were professionally invisible for years and years, and now we're doing this little thing. So anytime the needle moves even a little bit, we're all like, wow. Yeah, I guess good point. With the anniversaries, going on the lines of the anniversaries, tomorrow is, since this is the late night show shit, coined by Reggie. Tomorrow is also the anniversary of Late Night with David Letterman. 40 friggin' years.
It's bananas.
February 1, 82, Late Night with David Letterman premiered. Calvert DeForest came out with his good evening, like whatever. So good. So good. So congratulations to all of the Late Show people that had one hell of a run doing that show. And then here's where it becomes a little more relative. Starting today, I guess, or maybe tomorrow it goes live, but Letterman, as in at Letterman, started his YouTube channel. For
Already.
real.
Wow.
For real. I don't know what's going to be on it. I don't know if it's literally today or it's probably for the anniversary tomorrow.
Whoa.
But it's, whatever, youtube.com/Letterman, whatever. And I think it's probably the old page because there's already 200,000 followers, So it's probably the old show page that
Right.
somebody just kept control of and they're launching it. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be old shows, old clips. Don's kind of has the market cornered on that, and he has the approval of the Late Show people. Maybe they'll move his stuff over. Maybe this will be different. Maybe Dave will create content. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think about, but
It is crazy to think about.
it's a different time than when Carson went off the air. Carson went off the air, and there was no YouTube. There was no, there wasn't really not a whole
You're
lot in
just off.
92.
Like,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
yeah. He kind of went to Malibu and played tennis, and went to his boat in the marina, and eventually he died.
Eventually, over time.
His last appearance was right here at this desk talking into the mic
Really?
though on Letterman when
That
they
same
did
mic?
they did this mic. You don't know my story with this mic? Oh my gosh. Someday off the air I'll tell you the story. Yes, it's the same mic.
Gorge.
Oh no. So the bookend to why we're doing all of this is because I was a kid growing up at the same town as Dave and totally obsessed with the whole thing. Yeah. So this just sort of like when we started a podcast and the gravity started, this is where it got for some bigger reason,
Yeah, of course, yeah. Things lead you.
I stole this when I was a kid. I really did. I really did.
I'm so glad you did it. From because I identify with that very. And I encourage it.
Oh, I'm not proud of it, but we're trying to get Dave on the show so that I can then. The truth is, I had a little show like this in high school when I was a kid, right? I'll give you the brief. I stole this microphone right after my dad died, 2 weeks after my dad died. And then not knowing how to rectify my situation of like, what the hell did I got let into the theater one night, overnight. No joke.
Yeah.
Just like a story a kid would make up, but it's real.
Yeah.
And to rectify the situation, I took my microphone that's very same kind of microphone, but a different standard from my little high school show, and I brought it to Dave's house, and I gave it to him, and he gave me a Late Show jacket. Like, I couldn't get him to take it. Eventually he did, and then on Monday, my mic from my little show was on his desk, for his new desk for the next decade. So, like, it's a crazy story that, like, nobody ever heard because I just did a stupid thing when I was a kid and was ashamed of it my whole life and never followed. So we're trying to get Dave here for the follow-up to that because he's the only one who can corroborate the story.
He's got to come.
Yeah.
He's got to come. That would be such a kick for him.
I hope so.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen.
Can says you should come, Dave. I heard him. He said,
Dave, get the hell over here. I'm no chafe, but I can vouch for the show. The vibes are very strong and good.
"Oh, you're awesome." So now that everybody got the backstory on that, we didn't intend to tell tonight. So the Dave Letterman YouTube channel. I don't know what's going to be on it, but check it out. And then the other thing was when we mentioned the other day, for years and years. The missus here was a comedy publicist. She was in the business. She used to book all her celebrity comedy people. Sorry, you were celebrity, Hollywood publicist, whatever. But you worked with a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
And by that, you would have to book these comedians on these shows, or these shows would call you to book these people on their shows. One of the people that used to do that happens to be Dave's one guy, his one representative.
Yeah.
And when we originally tried to get him, started this process of trying to get him on the show, she just simply reached out to the guy who happened to know and remember her. It was like a really weird coincidence. It seemed like, this is going to be so easy. They'll just be able to put it together and Dave will be here. Then it just kind of took a really long time, and I was like, I don't really know. This seems like Hollywood business bullshit. I was like, I think you're both giving each other the runaround and whatever. My spidey sense was up. So we're reaching out to any avenue, period, to get Dave. If you know him through racing or cars or whatever the heck, anything. if you're his vet for his dog, whatever, reach out. And more specifically, I wanted to say that I was also hyper wrong about that guy because we just set up the GoFundMe, like I mentioned this morning, and one of the first people to donate was Dave's guy.
Which is so cool.
Yeah,
So touching.
He's clearly still in the orbit more so than I thought. So thank you to you, thank you, whose name I don't want to say, and that's great for you as well because I know that was wearing on you, thinking that you had dropped the ball somewhere or whatever, but I don't think that's the case.
It was wearing it.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. It's the honesty show, everybody. Getting everything off our chest. All right. That's it. Oh, and then Newcomb's is the only other thing. Newcomb's, we talked the other day about Newcomb's In fact, we did half a show about it, for God's sake, about whether Newcomb's ranch is sold or not. I had been informed by some very credible people that it was indeed sold, and I have since heard something different from someone else, not my credible sources that had said it was sold, but somebody else saying that it sounds like that fell through. So, if you have $6 million and you and you want to spend it on a beautiful mountain retreat, there's a lot of good stuff there. And I think somewhere in here we're on the back. There we go. And here we are on the back page. So,
There she is.
and there I am having a little cup of coffee over here. No big deal. You kids all right out there shoveling? So reach out, obviously, to Compass Realty. You can look it up online, I'm sure, but you can send me a message as well if you want, and I'll connect you with the right people. But it sounds like it may still be for sale. So
It sounds like two people who show up at that show would be able to just get that spot. Just the people who show up there, between 5 of them, they could get it.
The usual suspects don't want it. I've asked them all here. I've asked Jay Leno sitting in that chair if he would buy it, and he gave me all the reasons why he wouldn't. I asked Magnus if all the time.
What's the reason?
I don't want to be. It's not really my place to say, but since well, wait till you're in here. Ask me when you're in
Sure,
here.
I will.
Because this is fun and all, but people would like to see you.
We'll get into it, guys.
Right now, it's like you're on this side shot, like your show, which you're used to, but you're going to be in the chair here in a second.
No.
You're coming over to
that.
coming over to the couch.
I was gonna be here.
Oh man. Orlando Cars and Coffee still watching, moving to my iPad. Love you all. Oh, all right. Well,
Good luck.
Yeah.
It's not an easy move.
that's right. Can you throw it? Can you Apple? Do you throw it to places, or do you leave it places and then you pick it up somewhere else?
I think. Well, actually, with Instagram, probably not, unless they have it built into their API. But
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, just gotta do
Like-
the old-fashioned way.
Like Pages, if I'm doing something on my computer, I can open it up on my iPad.
Yeah. Well, same thing like with your. I guess there's no way to do it. Well, with Apple things, you can just transit, like with their headphones, for instance. You can
AirPlay it over, or
or just start using another thing, and it just kind of figures out that you're using it, and it just transfers it.
how the fuck do they do
Which is sweet.
It's so sweet.
It's not foolproof, but it sometimes works, and it's nice.
That's the kind of AI I don't mind and like.
Oh, I don't mind that at all.
Some of it really irks me. We can talk about that. I'll make a note for AI.
Totally designed.
All right. Okay. Did we do it? All right. Newcomb's done. We're going to do viewer mail when he gets in here. All right. In the meantime, I should tell you. They say. Let me get this here. There we go. They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What type of toys?
Collector.
That's right. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top providers so you get the best coverage for your toys. If I were you, I'd check out Jeff St. Clair and St. Clair Insurance, a popular Haggerty provider, and see what St. Clair Insurance can do for you. Simply go to coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com,
coverageforyourtoys.com.
and say hi to Jeff St. Clair. Tell him you saw it on the Playset. Also, in the meantime, this is Jay Ryan on behalf of Nicole from Late Night Playset, reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment below. This feeds the internet algorithm and eventually us as well. Be a pal. Like, subscribe, and comment below. It'll be fire! And the smoke is taking a while. I think we needed a smoke machine or some new fog juice. Usually it denotes some fire, but today it's a bit of a dud. I guess nobody's commenting and liking on YouTube. I'm sorry. It's what it is. Quick break, very quick, so I can turn some cameras around, and we'll get our guest, Reggie Watts, in here. Okay, so I can get my words. There we go. Too much stuff to do. Everything's a lot easier when I can have my little thing here. Bluetooth be dead. See, now that thing we were just talking about, it seems to have lost connection, and it simply won't grab it back.
Can that device be powered off and powered on itself?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Do that?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Do it, because it's been plugged in, right? It was charged, right?
It is charged.
Okay.
Yep.
It should just work.
It should just work. Very good point. But somehow it's not. And the issue is here. If I restarted this, this iPad happens to be our control room. I'm cutting off the 6 cameras and everything while the fog rolls in.
I love it.
And I think if I rebooted that before the show, this would have worked.
I wonder. Yeah. I mean, I guess one last thing you could do is just check the Bluetooth settings, see if it's even connected to it.
But if I leave this app, See what I mean?
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
and
It
we're
doesn't
live on too many things.
I see. So it would
It
derail.
seems like a complexity issue.
Gotcha. No.
All right, brief words from Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce, Mrs. Ryan,
Made by bears.
made by bears.
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night Playset.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today? Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David. Thumbs up for sure.
This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
Don't need to stick it. He's already got it. My car's gonna feel slow as balls after this. I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby.
It's just cool. It's really cool to see.
All right, let's see if we did this right.
You're on the candid camera.
Wide cam, kill the echo. It looks good. With that, we are sitting with Reggie Watts. Welcome back, everybody. What's up, buddy?
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here and doing our show. You
Hey.
did all of the automotive podcasts
I did.
in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, except
and
for Jay's, which is coming up.
but his is a show.
Well, I guess it's
so
a
you
show,
hit
yes.
you hit all of the podcasts,
Yeah.
and now you're doing the show circuit.
Yes.
How does it feel? How does it feel? You're a car guy. Everybody knows it.
I'm a CG, or I'd like to call it a car person.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to get all the humans in there. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It happens so fast. That must happen from time to time, right? It's like, it's because it's like, it's kind of a small community. It isn't, and it is,
Yeah.
but it is. And then like once like a new cat comes in, it's just like it
We've
reminds
all
me-
swarmed on you. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, and it's awesome.
meat.
It's so cool. Yeah, so it's like, oh, it's the new kid, and then they'll be like, I don't know, someone Bilbo Baggins will like jump in. I like cars too, and people are like, ah. But no, it's been awesome, man. It's been like very surreal. I can't believe like it's weird like when you meet people from YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
TV too, but YouTube specifically because YouTube is so easy to just, I'd like to see this next video. Oh, and this next video. Oh, and then someone's appearing in an algorithm. It's a different kind of relationship. But then like suddenly
good
there's just,
point.
oh, there's that person that you look so familiar. Oh, YouTube. Shit, I've never met you, but I feel like I've met you. Classic.
Yeah, but you're right. There's
Pretty cool.
something YouTube, but celebrities on TV or movies or whatever. They're like celebrities, but YouTube's just
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
You're right. There's
yeah.
there's a weird thing of being familiar with just people.
Yeah, because it's weird. It's like I don't know if that's still the same thing as a celebrity. Like
Is
I don't
it?
know. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't
Because they're
figured
not
it out.
called celebrities; they're called influencers.
Yeah, I guess
right?
they're influencers, whatever the fuck. But it's like, I get it. Everything has to have a title. But it's language. We got to know what we're talking about. But yeah, it's been very odd. Like I met the Canadian guys from what's their show that they do? Jesus.
It was
terrible.
just Sunday. We saw them just yesterday.
Yeah. Why am I not forget? Because I just click on the videos and I watch them, and sometimes I don't pay attention to the titles.
So you were familiar with those guys when they asked you to do the thing yesterday.
Yes.
You already knew them.
Yes.
So you totally wanted to do it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It was very odd because I just saw this guy's face. It was the British guy first. I'm trying to remember his name. God, I'm terrible. These guys are going to kill me if they're watching right now. They're just like, he doesn't care about anything.
You want to plug your appearance on their show?
Yeah, totally. It's like, these guys that I met that are Canadian that love cars, they're awesome. Watch their show. There's only one show in Canada that does it. But I saw him and I was like immediately like, I know that guy. He's such a great pal. Like I've never met him.
But meanwhile, you get a vibe for the real person on YouTube versus like, oh, it's not a character generally. I guess maybe some people are playing a character on YouTube, but for the most part, it's just like a Doug DeMuro. That's Doug DeMuro. Like that's just how he is. You know?
Yeah.
So you watch everybody.
Oh, everybody. Yeah.
How long have you been into cars?
God, ever since I was a kid, really.
Yeah.
Ever since. I mean, I never got hot rod mags or stuff like that, but I was always a car and driver dude. I would like
Matchbox cars or anything like that?
Oh, I loved Matchbox cars. Matchbox cars. Like the Evil Knievel stunt cycle. The fucking.
The whole set was awesome.
The whole set.
My friends had the set.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You had the pump up thing or whatever with the cycle that was on the ramp, and you click the lever once the gyro was going, and it would just
I wanted all that stuff so bad.
It was so good. But I loved vehicles, starships, like spaceships, all that design, anything science fiction, anything cockpitty. And cars are like the only thing that you can actually get that puts you in a cockpit that you don't have to be a fighter pilot for or get a pilot's license.
You're a kid of the 80s like me probably then. So it's just everything we consume was kind of like technical.
Yeah.
It was that age. All the movies were made very technically, very real, practical, in-camera stuff.
Yes, right.
And that's what all our exposure was.
Yeah, and a lot of vehicle-based shows and movies.
Nothing but.
Yeah.
A-Team, Airwolf, Street Hawk, Knight Rider.
Yep, Knight Rider. What was the other one? Oh, Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder was
movie
great.
and TV series.
Roy Scheider.
Yeah.
I think we need a bigger helicopter.
The Jaws guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He plays like an LA sheriff or something. Some LA cop.
Yeah.
And they steal the
what was the
prototype.
Other one? Street Hawk, right?
Oh, there was Starsky and Hutch. There was
those are
the older car ones.
Well, there's like the ones that kind of Automan.
What's Automan?
You don't remember Automan?
I've never heard of Automan.
Whoa, Automan. For you guys
Auto,
out there,
as in
check
auto?
subscribe and click on the notification. No, it's Automan was it was Tron technology, the same technology they used in Tron.
I gotcha.
He was a computer-generated character that came to life at night, and he required the city's energy at night to function. And he had a cursor pal that was just a cursor that floated in the air. Whoa. When he needed a vehicle, he would say like cursor car, and it would draw a Lamborghini Countach.
It sounds like the flight deck from Next Gen. Not the flight deck, that holodeck from Next Gen. They would go in there and they would just kind of talk, and then it would kind of materialize some shit.
Kind of, but in the real world. So they're just
you don't
standing
need to be
on a
anywhere.
street.
Oh,
yeah,
whoa.
he's got like Tron outline, like a Tron character, and he's standing there, and they're like, well, we need to get to the blah blah blah, and the computer programmer dude that made him is like hanging out, and then the cursor, he would say cursor car, and it would draw this car or a helicopter or any vehicle they needed. Whoa. And it would just, and then the vehicle would be outlined like a Tron vehicle, and it would turn like Tron. So like you'd see it like going, and it was just like
crazy 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's like,
no physics.
Yeah, it was crazy. But there were like so many. I guess Street Hawk, Blue Thunder, Knight Rider. What was the other one? I nailed all of them. Airwolf.
Airwolf was
Blue
one of
Thunder.
my favorites.
I guess that was it. Those were the five.
I feel like there's more, but we might be forgetting.
Yeah, there were like crime fighting. like specialist, inventor,
the
home
A-team?
base.
The A-Team because of the
But
van.
does that? It's an iconic video, but or series. But I would say like A-Team, Starsky and Hutch, and all the ones that had famous cars in them. It was more about like the characters and the vehicle they drove, whereas Blue Thunder. Street Hawk and all those were about that vehicle. It was about the technical capabilities of that vehicle.
Yeah, because they were there was something very special.
Yes.
They were like a government designed
Yes.
prototype or
Yes,
whatever.
it was a
Right, they were all
weapon.
prototypes.
Yeah, they were prototypes. They were one-offs. They were run in clandestine situations, or sometimes in Airwolf. Obviously, the guy stole the helicopter.
Yeah, I love that story.
I know it's a great, but just like that idea of like this amazing machine. Or remember the movie The Wraith?
No, but before we get
What?
to the Wraith,
Wow.
Airwolf, I just want to make sure our audience gets
Yeah.
the guy who built Airwolf stole it, and then the star of the Airwolf show stole it back, and then didn't give it to the people he stole it from, and then they had to hire him throughout the entire series to use it. That was the premise
Oh
of
my
it.
God, what a genius!
Stringfellow Hawk.
Stringfellow
yeah.
Hawk.
Yeah, Jan Michael Vincent.
Jesus Christ!
Now, Wraith.
Santini Air.
Oh, dude, Van Nuys Airport.
Oh, it's so good.
That's pretty freaking close.
Yeah,
Let's go get the lady.
Oh my God, totally. It's like the co-pilot. It's like it was such a huge cockpit too. It was very good.
Oh my God! I watched that thing recently, and I thought to myself, I know production, so the whole thing's probably the size of this room. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's not nearly as big as we thought it was. He's
like
back
it.
there on a Barca lounger and everything
Yeah,
else. That would never fit in a real helicopter.
No, it's not a living room. It's a helicopter. But the Wraith.
Wraith.
You should check out the Wraith.
What is it? TV or movie?
Movie.
Okay.
And it's Sheen, I think. Charlie Sheen, maybe? Or no, Emilio Estevez.
Well, they're easy to confuse.
There's probably people in the comments that are correcting me right now, but the Wraith, so it was about essentially a guy dies and then somehow gets resurrected with a vehicle.
Good. Totally plausible.
So he's like avenging the death.
Is the guy half vehicle, like the Fly?
No,
it's just a guy and a vehicle.
So gross.
Okay.
I don't need that. Although in the 80s it would have happened, but yeah, Hellraiser technology.
One of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Freddy Krueger was also like a motorcycle or something. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It was a weird
because it was dreams.
Yes,
anything's possible.
Oh, good point.
He's like, it's in dreams. Yeah, the Wraith was just like, it was just dope. It was like, there was a whole special about the car that they built. It was actually it was built on the frame of a
Wraith with a W.
Yeah. I just saw a whole thing about it. It was a prototype car that was a Dodge car.
Oh,
and it was used. It was actually based off a car that was used as a pace car for some Daytona or something like that, and they used it as a pace car, and then they just used that frame and they modified it to make it look more like. But it's a badass looking car. Like if someone rolled up in a Wraith, it's like when you choose a car to like make into an actuality and then show up at like a meet or something like that. That would probably be the car I would choose. Either that or the car that was used by the Japanese racers in Cannonball Run.
Dude. Jackie Chan.
That was Jackie Chan. Yeah, that's
Chinese,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, sorry, Chinese. I apologize.
But it was a Japanese car, though.
Yeah, it was a Japanese car, and they had all the tech, and that was totally my thing.
The turbocharger and the night vision and everything.
Like, Countach was cool, but that was my car.
And then that's kind of a good trivia question. Didn't he end up winning the Cannonball Run? I think he's actually the winner. I think so.
That's so cool.
Because it's one of those like you can't actually ever remember who the hell won. I just remember
everybody
them in
was
the bumper
fighting.
cars at the end.
Yeah, the smoke cleared and they were the actual winners.
Yeah.
But those two cars, I think if you
when I look up Wraith and everything, all right. Well, either way, it just comes up with the Rolls Royce thing.
Yeah, the Rolls Royce makes an okay Wraith, but this Wraith. And also
here we go. Yeah.
Well.
Oh, I do remember this.
Remember this?
Yes.
It was early '80s. The Wraith, and it was of course
Dodge M4S Turbo Interceptor.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool and wild looking.
It's a sick car, and they modified it. It's pretty heavily. It's great. Yeah, you got to check it out, guys. The Wraith movie.
The funny thing is, it doesn't look dissimilar to the Knight Rider 2000 car. Do you remember that?
Oh, that was the next gen, right? That they tried to make.
It was like a movie one-off that it had It had Michael and Devin, but they killed Devin.
Oh, right.
It was a whole thing. And it was like not really. It was kind of dark, and it wasn't like the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the car was like a red thing that looked like this, and it was based on the Pontiac Banshee.
Damn, that is a good-looking car, man. I'm sorry, but that.
I like it too.
And it's got scissor doors.
I was wondering about that because it's got the DeLorean window cutout.
Yeah, with the mini cutout. Yeah. Or even
it is look at that.
Remember the Subaru had that same thing too? What was that? The W
something RX SVX?
Yeah, it was their sports car that they made.
Sort of.
But it had that tiny half window thing.
Yeah, theirs was like a quarter. It came out of the side. It was even weirder.
Yeah. God, but I would repro the Wraith in a second. I never see it show up.
I have to agree with you, and I kind of want to find this show and watch it a little bit. This looks really fun.
You're gonna love it. It's just like classic, like assholes. A gang of assholes like wreaking havoc on a bunch of innocent people, and then this like ghost guy with a crazy car that's indestructible that would like disappear over a hillside because it was insanely fast. It was he'd just like be racing and he'd be toying with them and then just be gone, and then they would come over the crest of a hill.
Thanks to the curvature of the earth, he was gone.
He was gone. But then also when they would come over the crest, he would be parked sideways in the road, and they would crash into him.
I remember that
because he couldn't be killed.
Right, they would crash into him and they would die.
Yeah, he
would just kind of like invisible and reappear.
He would just drive away. It was so cool. It's a really cool. I don't know.
I've seen some clips of this on YouTube.
Yeah.
What year? Like. Early 80s?
Early 80s, yeah. Because I remember like seeing that, because that car I remember
going deep on Wraith.
It was, I know the Wraith. Everyone's like, would you please move on?
No, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like the Wraith. I think you're going to love the Wraith, guys.
Good pull on the Wraith. So that's the thing. You're proving that you have been a car guy for a long time.
For sure.
Because like when I watched Lieberman's new show, you're the first guest on it. Inevitable.
Yeah.
Great show, everybody, on Motor Trend. Go check it out.
Yeah.
You are the only person I've ever seen be able to, like, I don't want to say out-talk, but equal Johnny Lieberman. His his recall, first of all, his
Yes.
insane knowledge, his encyclopedic knowledge, but then his recall of like stats and companies and designers and all of this crazy shit is like unparalleled.
Yes.
And then here you were. At one point, Johnny was just kind of sitting in his chair, like, yeah, somebody else is just like me. It was like he found a buddy. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you're not faking it. You're a legit car guy who's out of the closet.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna be a car content creator? Are you just enjoying it because it's your passion and you're enjoying it right now, and maybe nothing does come from it professionally? You're just enjoying it, or
Right.
what are your thoughts?
I think what I'd like to do is I watch so many of the car review videos that I feel like it's so internalized now. My goal is to I want to approach some legitimate like Motor Trend or somebody like that, and I want to create car reviews.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be improvising all of it, and none of it will be very accurate information at all.
Excellent.
But I want
it's
it
a
to
car
look.
review parody almost. Like
It's
we're
a
gonna
parody,
Go,
yeah.
You remember Children's Hospital? She launched Children's Hospital with
You
Rob
did?
Corddry. Yeah.
Good for you.
But
Thanks,
it was all
thanks
very
for that contribution.
It was all very serious. They were playing it straight while they were
course.
delivering ridiculous other stuff that was hilarious to us.
It's the only way you can do it. Everybody in that world has to believe that what they're doing is true and serious.
Is that kind of what you mean?
Oh, 100%. I wanted to if you turn the sound off, if you muted the video, you'd be like, oh, this is someone doing a car review.
Yep.
And it'll have the same production quality. It'd be like
Doing the walkarounds and everything.
Yeah, the walkarounds with those beautiful, and then it'll always start with a poetic, introduction to the car with who's the tall British dude, the really skinny tall British dude that usually gets the scoop on Gordon Murray and all those. Other people.
Man, you're showing me my ignorance on. I don't know.
He's got glasses,
Jeremy
kind
Clarkson.
of spiky hair, very tall, kind of thin
Oh
dude.
gosh, I'm terrible at this. He's been to Breakfast Club even. God darn it.
Yeah.
This is you before with the podcast you just did. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't
Well-
remember. 3 names maybe. I think he might have 3 names.
Yeah, he's got it's always you hear and it's the elements. Flight and wind are things that we take for granted, but the sun never ceases to break between the clouds. Power. Like the earth itself. All of a sudden there's and it's the all new Porsche 657 85329 with enhanced turbo, whatever. It's I want to have that beautiful, awe-inspiring stuff, and just be spouting this information that's just not. It's just not right. It's not true. But I know enough about cars that I can make it sound kind of true, and so I'm really looking forward to that, because that's the one thing in cars.
You know a lot about. This is going to be great because you do.
love it.
You're going to be able to write around the facts.
Yes, 100%. And some of it'll be real, but most of it'll probably just be a bunch of silliness. But I think it's just going to be fun because I love hijacking formats that are very well developed.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yes.
I do know what you mean. Make it your own, baby.
Oh boy. Yes, you do.
Take it and make it your own.
Yes, you do. Take it and make it. That's what they say. That's what they say.
Do you have a partner for that yet? Or you said you were talking about that's just an idea. So
No.
a lot of the folks who work at Motor Trend or all of those outlets
Yeah.
who watch our show, because that's the only audience for our show is those people.
Yeah.
They should reach out to you.
Yeah,
or
reach
whatever.
out to me. I'll make it. I'll do a good job. It'll be fun. Because it's I love vehicles so much, and my favorite thing, I think the thing that I love most about vehicles is now that people are kind of understanding, oh, he likes cars and stuff, is I like trying to get other people who don't find cars interesting or driving interesting, even more importantly. I want to show them why. I want to show them my excitement. I want them to kind of get a taste of why I like what I like, and why people are car people, instead of just it's a car person. You're car people, whatever.
Share the enthusiasm.
It's share the enthusiasm, because it's a beautiful thing, and also you can get beyond whether you're environmentalist or not. Cars exist, and there are ways of moving into the future responsibly. And it doesn't diminish the passion of driving. It's just there's a lot of options in the future. But that's my thing, because some of my friends are listening, I hate cars are doing this and cars. And I'm yeah, but once you get into a really good car and you drive, I guarantee you, if you went to Pecla or something like that and hopped in a Carrera S and just slung it around the track a little bit, there's no way no one's not going to have a smile on their face.
Yeah, people don't like what they know about driving and or cars.
Right.
It's a different experience, just like traveling. Like a different experience will expose you to new shit.
Yes.
And maybe you'll love it.
Oh,
Maybe you won't like it
maybe
at all,
you
but
won't.
maybe you will
Maybe
love
won't.
it.
Yeah, but you gotta give it a try and kind of at least. That's why it's like most of the shows that I do that I'm on, whether it's controversial shows. I guess they're controversial, like Rogan and stuff like that. It's like,
well, Rogan's controversial now. I would have called that mainstream a month ago.
yeah, I guess that's true. I mean,
everyone says he's like the Carson of these days because of the audience,
right. Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I see your point. So anyway,
for me, it's like he says it himself, whether he exercises it well or not. But he's like the other viewpoints type of thing or whatever. I don't go quite that far, but I definitely want to understand, why does someone love what they love? Because I don't understand it. Why do people love using auto-tune on vocals on songs? Why do they like it?
What is the reason?
There is no good answer for it.
Oh, it kills me.
I haven't found one. But it's like I at least want to make an attempt to go to ask a successful producer, like, why do you think people use this? Is it just because it's something we're used to or whatever? But I try to hit all the different angles as much as possible, and I like kind of encouraging people to have a broader understanding of the world that they live in.
I think of you as more of a truth teller too. Like, we had a conversation about you on the Late Late Show, and I know obviously you serve many purposes on that show, but the one that I found that intrigued me so much was and this is my assessment, by the way. It's not like this was not in his contract to be this way, but I found that when we watch the show, and we watch the clips on YouTube sometimes afterwards when they'll do the wrap ups or whatever of the montages and stuff.
Yeah.
We picked you up over COVID. We both started watching, because the show got really good when you guys
Yes,
were doing the cruise shows.
Off the rails.
That's when I feel like you guys were on the air for years, and that's when the show found its voice.
Yes,
it's crazy.
100%.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is I found that you were the barometer for whether something was funny or not in the room. Like a joke is delivered either by James or someone else, whoever it is, or something. Some comedy is delivered, something, and then somehow we kind of see, well, what does Reggie think of that? Whether the camera cuts to you, whether you say something, whether the audience waits for you to react. And there's something very comfortable about it because it feels very real and authentic. You do not seem to be, it's weird to say, you don't seem to be part of the act. You're almost commenting on the act. And I want to know if that's on purpose. I want to know what that's all about. Tell me anything you want to tell me about it. It's just an observation.
No, I think that's a wonderful observation, and thanks for seeing that. That's how I view it. Like I'm watching the show.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my thing is.
But how do you do that? How do you fake that? Like, do you genuinely not know what's coming up?
I have no idea. No, I mean, okay, so in the beginning when we were doing the show, obviously they wanted us to rehearse, blah, 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 blah. But I told James going into the show, I was like, I don't want the band to rehearse. I want us to be mostly improvising and being able to make calls on the fly or whatever. Because the music that we're doing, the amount of time that you're playing in and out of a break is so tiny.
That's what Schaefer used to do, too. They used to literally wing it. I mean,
Yeah,
they would kind of pick what songs they were going to do in the commercial breaks or whatever. But other than that, they would sort of wing it so that they were all more ready for live.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. Yeah, I did not know that. Yeah, that's I did not know that. But
wild stuff.
But yeah, so I mean, the idea from the get-go was like I wanted there to be a looseness and an improvisational nature to what the band does, and then ultimately to what I do. And so they would have me in for rehearsals, but then I stopped going to one day I just stopped going. It was so funny to me. I was like, yeah.
See if they notice.
I'm not going to do this anymore because and it wasn't out of like laziness. It was because I didn't want to see the monologue again.
Yeah.
Once I've seen the monologue once, now I know all the jokes. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's say 10% of the jokes change after the rehearsal because they always want to modify stuff
punch it
or
up,
whatever. Yeah. Sure, but I didn't like that feeling of because then I felt like I was faking it when I was laughing. It was just kind of a half-assed laugh. And then when I did that, no one really said anything about me not showing up to rehearsals. But then the showrunner Ben Winston chimed in one day because he's on comms as well, and he was just like, Reggie, I love it when I like it when I hear you genuinely laughing at stuff. It really helps. And I was like, yeah, man. I mean, that's
if I'm seeing it for the first time, it's a real reaction.
Yeah, and I would rather because I usually don't know. I don't know who the guests are. Like as he's announcing who's on the show, that's when I'm finding out who's on the show.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm just like the guy watching the show. It's like my eating the salad thing was kind of like, just kind of became a part of the show.
I haven't watched that. Your salad fell down. I saw that in my queue, but I haven't seen it.
It's pretty stupid, but I mean, it's like because I always
those are the real moments.
Those are the real moments.
That's what we all need. That's what makes these shows fun.
Yes,
when they're all produced and strangled, and there's a lot of shows out there that are like what I'm talking about, not yours.
Yeah.
You strangle is the only word I can think. You suck the air out of the room, and it's a little too. I don't know. Maybe it's good for some people, but I'm out.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not fun at all. It's not fun. I mean, I like it when our show feels like we're, everyone's kind of like, well, what's going to happen? It's a combination of like, oh, this will be a normal show. It's this segment, then this segment, but then like something crazy will happen, or guests will go crazy, or an accident will happen, and then that becomes a special show instantaneously. Which I love because the standard show is fun. But then when something crazy or something accidental occurs, and we roll with it, it always makes for a more special show.
That's the closest thing to the water cooler moments that they used to talk about in the old days. Like that doing it that way is the closest way to generate that type of. And by the way, I guess nowadays it's viral content.
Sure.
Like those little moments that you weren't planned or whatever.
Yeah.
Becomes the standout.
Yes, I mean, and that's kind of like how that's kind of something that we discovered about the show. I mean, Ben always wanted it, and probably James as well, but Ben always wanted it to be a little, as they say in the UK, shambolic, and I like that too. I love it. So I love being the guy that's on the outside. It's like, it's not that funny.
Yeah, because that's okay.
Funny. Yeah, and that's okay. And I'm casual about it. Like sometimes I'm just like he'll ask me a question. I'll be like, oh, sorry, what was that? Because I'm like spaced out about something or whatever. And
or sometimes it seems like your lack of response is the response, which I love.
Yeah, yes, right. That's
you know
true.
what I mean.
That's
as a comedy fan, discomfort is my that's where I'm most comfortable.
Yes.
So when sometimes the camera will cut to you and you're just deadpan with the glasses on, like, oh, is somebody waiting for me to say something? Because totally. I'm just waiting for the show to go on. You all thought that was funny, I guess. All right, next.
I know. And I'm like, oh shit, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
That's awesome. Well, it's that honesty that I guess maybe it's confidence in the rest of the guys, James and the producers. It's that kind of honesty that makes the show worth watching. It's that type of authenticity, I should say, that is what makes the show worth watching for me.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I think so too. And like you said, the show really found its voice during COVID. I mean, when we came back into the studio and we're like, what are we going to do? And like, well, let's just put the writers on the floor.
Genius. You're solving two problems. Shit. It's genius.
Yep. You got an audience, but you also have people who can chime in because they're really fucking funny. And and then slowly as guests, started coming in and being able to show up in person, and the protocols are being figured out and all that stuff, we already had that base of kind of riff, like that riff culture. The monologues guaranteed are about 60% longer than what you see on TV.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Does he still do a monologue? Again, we don't watch the whole show.
Okay,
I thought it started at the desk these days.
Let's not call it a monologue. It's not really a monologue. I guess it's funny because I'm just now kind of realizing this. It's just him starting the show and introducing guests.
That's what but at the desk.
Yeah,
you guys will do a little mini theme. He comes on. It's almost like, let's just get to it.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, he introduces the guy, and then he goes to the news. So I guess the news now has become the monologue.
The news has become one of the funniest segments because of the band.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all Steve. Steve Scalfati, man. He's the genius. He's
well done to all of you.
Oh, well, thanks.
And Steve, obviously.
Thanks. But Steve is like, he's the guy. I mean, when I put that band together, Steve was my secret weapon.
Really?
100%. Well, Steve and Tim.
Okay.
Tim Young, the guitar player, is one of the most brilliant musicians I know on the planet. He's his level of musicianship and his ability for recall and his total, almost complete understanding of every kind of music, technical or simplistic or chaotic. He has been involved in every type of music you can imagine, but he can also remember every single piece of music he's ever made or played.
One of
so
those.
He's got this photographic kind of muscle memory.
Wow. Well, that is what you want for that job, to be able to pull from the whole catalog at any point.
Oh, totally. And he became, and so I was like, oh, he's going to become like number one. It's going to be Riker essentially in Star Trek. I knew.
Make it so.
Yeah,
sure.
I knew he would become that dude. I just had a feeling. I didn't tell him that's what was going to happen, but my instinct was like, I get Steve Scalfati. He plays keyboards, plays saxophone, but
he plays saxophone too.
Yeah, he's a sax player.
That's awesome.
He's actually like kind of a sax player first, and he almost got a record deal and went the same path as Kenny G back in the early '90s.
No shit.
But Yeah, he started a company called IQ Beats, which I think still exists, and he started with his British partner, and they create sound alikes and audio logos, station IDs.
No kidding.
So that was their whole business, and they just banked music, right? And this was before the, like,
and
they were
you can
kind of
just
ahead of
pick
the game.
any song you want, basically. Anything
Yeah.
that's popular, just go do a sound alike.
Just do a sound alike, or whatever, or the people would ask them specifically for things, whatever. And so I
gosh.
knew that he can reverse. I could play him a piece of music from a commercial, like he's doing one right now. I'm just doing this. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm doing a Jordache look commercial from the 80s.
I remember the Jordache
the
look.
Jordache look, right?
When the girl goes by with her butt in the jeans,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
turns around and looks.
Yeah,
the Jordache
totally,
look.
the Jordache look.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the video that I'm recreating is just like a bunch of like really,
She's like, "How do you know this stuff, nerds?"
It's like, well, because it's fucking Jordache. But no, but I gave him the commercial, and he was like, "Oh, I'll do that." And like within like 3-4 hours, he sent back a thing. It sounds exactly like the commercial music because he can listen to it. And he knows which compressors were used. He knows which consoles were used. He knows which synths were used. His ear is so finely tuned. So
He's not even deconstructing. He's not just deconstructing the music. He's just deconstructing the production of the music
completely.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
He's like forensic,
That's
so,
mad. That's a great guy on your team.
Yeah.
I see your point.
And I knew that he would come in handy because if we need to create a jingle for a tune, or if they do a bit that needs like a type of music at the beginning of it or whatever, he's the guy who can do that. So I knew that he would be useful. And then and Tim, of course, is just like a great natural leader because he knows all the tracks, and he's a great director. So he's technically, like, now he's more the musical director. I'd say he's like
He shows up for rehearsal.
he shows up for rehearsal, and he's the one calling the shots.
Wow.
In the beginning, I was the one calling like what we would do and so forth. And on occasion, I'll be like, "Oh, let's not do that. Let's just do a riff." Or like we're on commercial break, and I start playing a thing on the keyboards, and I'm like, "You know what? Let's play this instead."
Switch it up.
And then he'll be like, "Oh, okay, fine, let's do that." So I always still have final say, but it's very rare that I do that anymore. Now the show just kind of runs because we've amassed probably close to 1,000 bumps that we can choose from. We have our own catalog, so
That's amazing.
It's cool.
That must be some weird accomplishment that you never intended to accomplish. Like, that's kind of a cool thing that you probably never set out. Well, I got to have at least 1,000 fucking bumps in my pocket for a show for.
I know. Yeah, it just kind of it worked out. And the other thing I didn't even think about, of course, when I was setting up the band, is it's all on publishing now. So now, because it's all original music, we get all that publishing.
Yeah.
So, which I never even thought about.
Shaver still gets paid if you play late night, even on YouTube.
Yes, and with syndication as well. So we still get like this passive income that's coming in, and that's super rad. So that actually worked out really well. And then of course I just split all of the publishing equally with everybody instead of being like I'm the band leader.
So no fights.
So I get a cut. Yeah, fuck that.
Good for you.
Fuck
Good for
that.
everybody. Friends rules.
Oh yeah,
Everybody gets a Boxster. You get a Boxster. You get a
Oh my
Boxster.
God. Everybody gets a Boxster. Why not? I gotta have one in the back pocket. The backs are in the back pocket.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, this is a silly question, but do you enjoy the job?
No, I think it's stupid.
I figured. That's why I was asking.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's just a dumb job. No, it's no, of course. I mean,
it's musical comedy, right? I mean, that's hard to turn down.
Yeah,
Right?
I do. It's funny. It's a funny thing. Like, it's a even today when I came back like after the weekend, what a crazy weekend. We had like came up for Good Vibes on Friday. We hung out until like closed this place down.
2 o'clock. Yeah.
Then
we drove. Then we did a drive and photo shoots on the way down.
Totally, and that was super sweet. It was awesome. Had a great day. I had a great day, and then like Sunday was like Bluey's and fucking Malibu. It was really, really beautiful. Like nice, like driving, good people, good friends, meeting more people, all that stuff. And then like Monday comes, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to work. And then really, it's the drive that sometimes
to get to TV City.
I'm just like, I gotta do this drive. It's fine. There's nothing. I have no room. There's not even one.
How do you like the job? Well, the commute's a little rough.
Yeah, the commute's rough. It's like I can't really complain. All I can say is I do look forward in the future when it organically, naturalistically happens to have my own show that I've created, that I'm in charge of, that I dictate what the production is going to be like and what it's going to feel like and how we're going to shoot it and all that stuff. Because like being a car guy, like I'm also a guy that like knows so much about production techniques and the realities of like how much work it takes to make something do this, or how do we technically make this happen, or how should lighting work in this particular situation, like all that stuff. I'm very, very.
Are you looking at all of those things when you're watching all the videos? Like, oh, I can tell he's got a ring light on. Oh, I can tell he's just hand holding a GoPro. Or
always.
Yeah, me too.
Whenever I'm watching anything, it's a commercial or a television show. I know that there's a light just right just off of camera, and because it's a little bit too lit.
The moment I hear the DJI or the DJI, whatever the canned music that comes with the Osmo or any of the equipment that you buy to do filmmaking. All of the stuff that like the kit that comes with it. Anytime I hear the I want to sing it for you, but whatever. There's like one very specific one that comes with that damn Osmo, and everybody uses it because they don't know better on the first shot, you know? So they're all publishing. Like even Porsche was going to publish a video, and I told Ray Schaefer, I was like, look, Ray, you did a great job. But if I were you, I would lose that music because you're going to lose credibility immediately with your audience in that's the canned DJI music that comes with the damn drone thing, you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
So I guess we all have our weird little nitpicky
Of course. I mean, I'm always, that's my whole thing. I have a show pitching right now called Pet Peeves with Reggie Watts, and it's a show.
Is the talent attached?
Is what?
Is the talent attached?
No, the talent? What do you mean? Like
Reggie Watts.
Oh, yeah.
It's called This with Reggie Watts.
Yeah, but it stars Brian Cox.
Yeah, there you go. You open the talent
Brian
changes.
Cox.
Yeah.
Is
like, Reggie available? Have we confirmed?
It's like it's still with Reggie Watts, but he plays a version of me. But it addresses all of that stuff. All my stuff with like leaps in logic. Like, why would a character do that? It's like the person is standing too close with the gun. Of course they're going to get it grabbed. It's that's not the way you hold a rifle. That's not the way that, why is someone not changed out of their fucking clothes?
Oh, I want to watch this show.
You know what I mean?
You're going to help make everyone feel better.
Oh, it's
like he's saying the things we all want to say.
It drives me nuts. Yeah. It drives me nuts. It's like I'm watching a Discovery of Witches, which is just a weird. I don't know why I mean, I like magic shows, but it's just a weird show. It's because I realize, especially over pandemic, I watched so many shows that most shows are just soap operas.
Oh, well, all shows, yeah,
almost,
sure.
Which I never even thought about, but they are very much like
serials and soap operas.
Serials and soap operas. They just have different lighting and different stakes.
Yeah,
different techniques for telling the story. Mm-hmm. But it's always about Shirley did this. Why would she have ever done it? Well, it's not our fault. We gotta say, Rebecca, why are you here? It's a lot of that. But
insert misunderstanding here.
Yes, it's all just a series of misunderstandings, right? It's Three's Company 101.
That was gonna be my example because that's when I learned the fucking pattern. It was like, oh, I see. So every episode is just like some kind of crazy misunderstanding, and then somebody makes the wrong judgment based on it, and then the rest of the episode is figuring it out how to fix it.
Totally, I know, and it's just.
What do you mean Jack's not gay?
And it's like, well, he's really not gay. It's like
it was this in the show. In the old days, it was this, Mr. Roper.
I know. And he's like, and just like, what? Like, no, And my mom's just like laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing, Mom? It's like, oh, because we had actually growing up, she had two friends. They were a gay couple, but of course they couldn't tell anybody, and it was in Great Falls, Montana. But oddly, Montana's kind of weirdly tolerant of that stuff.
Yeah. Do your own thing. Nobody cares.
That's totally Montana. Montana's like, if you're not fucking with me, don't worry.
I'm good with you.
I don't care.
There's enough land that people can be that way. Here we're all on top of each other.
Yeah, that's true. And people take things personally, and also if they're just personal lives are not in order, they need something to vent on. But
Montana, like if you don't like the way you look, just turn.
I know.
And then there's fucking nothing forever.
Yeah, or they'll just be like, oh, that's a weird person. As long as they're good. I mean, that's the thing. It's your character ultimately.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I mean, I won't say like it's always that way, but I would say most of the time, people in Montana, like at least me growing up, like I was a weird kid, I was a weirdo, but like they just kind of were like, oh, he's that weird dude, but he's real nice, and that's it. And they're like, oh, or that Indian fellow, like it's like you're like, well, it's not quite the right language, but I get what you said. But he's talking really positively about it. It's like, oh, I thought they were all like this, but actually he's really cool. And I'm like, well, you know what? That's good. That's in the positive direction.
Yeah, that's what I was to do with the grandparents because they would still use the words that you can't use, but they were not saying it wasn't derogatory. It was just talking about the guy down the street or whatever.
Yeah, and
it was like, all right, but if we can just change the nomenclature a little bit. Like no one has any issues with what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
Yeah, 100%.
But agreed, at least it's more positive than solely just, well, the blah, 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 not good, racist.
Yeah,
insert whatever here.
Yeah, no, it was like, very rarely. I mean, obviously there's things, but I will say that like that's kind of like the thing that I took from growing up there, and kind of why I
More tolerant.
yeah, tolerant in a like kind of an unexpected way, like that.
Tolerant
wasn't,
plus.
Yeah, it's tolerant plus. Yeah, it's almost accidental tolerance, or like it's a byproduct. The byproduct is tolerance.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
it's not the main goal, but you sort of get there by accident.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like even my mom, like today, she's in the hospital. She had like a bad UTI, and so
I didn't know if we could talk about this.
Oh,
Your mom's doing okay?
Yeah, she's doing much better. She finally got home, which is great.
Good.
But my mom is like kind of like. You know how anti-vaxxers and my body, my choice, that type of thing or whatever. There's like the thing that
don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do. It's like, don't tread on me, all that stuff, whatever. Yeah. It's like there's an aspect of it that I understand that is actually applicable for almost anybody in the sense that my mom was in the hospital. They wanted to they wanted to test her. This is terrible. Everyone's gonna be like, your mom sucks, but she didn't want to get tested for COVID because the last time she got tested it was a nose swab, and it was when they were doing the deep nose things. So she
puncture her sinus, or just give her
it didn't
give
puncture.
her a little...
She just did not like it at all, and so they wanted.
I did
do
that
the
one
test.
too, and for a week later I was going.
Oh man,
trying to get whatever fuzz I was convinced was up in my brain out of my brain.
And it feels like when you get it, it feels like you just sniffed a bunch of wasabi. It's like
that's what I mean.
Burns like
constantly.
A motherfucker. But so she didn't want to get it. She didn't want to take it, and they're like, well, we can't admit you, which I understand. That makes sense. That's a cool hospital policy, whatever. But they wanted. Then they were like, well, if we can't treat you, then you're going to have to leave, basically. And then they were like, okay, well, you have to leave. You have to sign this thing that allows us to leave. But then the lady who's taking care of my mom, who's really cool. She's like kind of like a really independently minded. Some of the stuff that she talks about, I'm like, but her spirit is in the right place. And so she was very helpful for my mom because she knew the law. And so she was like, they can't force her to sign anything. If she wants to leave, she can just leave. Right. Because if she signs the thing, then the insurance doesn't work for that visit. So my mom didn't want to. So she told my mom about that, and my mom was like, and my mom wasn't into signing it anyways. So they were stuck in this like weird rock and a hard place. And then I talked to the doctor, got him on the phone when he was there, and then I was just kind of like, well, here's the deal with my mom. She doesn't want to do this. When she gets something in her head, it's not going to change.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I would rather, if I were her, I'd take the test, no problem. But she doesn't want to. I'm not going to force her. No one else should force her. Blah 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 blah. And then it just works out. She just left. But the point is, like, I just kind of realized, like, with my mom and Montana and independent thinking and all that stuff, it's like the one thing I am grateful for is that she didn't want to do that, and she stuck to her guns, and she had people around her, including myself, that was just like, listen, I understand where you guys are coming from as a hospital, and I understand the litigiousness, that happens, blah, 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 blah. But in the end, if someone doesn't want to do something and they're clear-headed about it, you just got to respect that, and there has to be some kind of mechanism that kind of honors that.
It's called free will, baby.
It is called free will, and
it really comes down to that. You can't even necessarily explain sometimes what you believe or why.
Totally, yeah. You're just like, I don't want to do that, and that should almost be enough.
Yeah, it's like your own intuition guiding you. However,
yeah, totally. It's like as long as someone explains their position as to why they would like you to do something, and you consider it, and you're like, nah, that's not for me. That's kind of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's being a human, right?
That's being a human.
Making choices.
Yeah, but hospitals don't work like that because they have like policies, and there's litigiousness. There's this.
They have boxes to check at a hospital.
Exactly.
They've got to put you into a
Yeah, which I get. Again, like I'm never the type of person that's just like, fuck these guys. It's like, I understand their position.
Systems are for a reason.
It's like, and I'm happy, whatever. I'm happy that they tried and it just didn't work out. She didn't agree with it, but now she's back home and she's cool. And the people taking care of my mom are just really great. They're just like, she's clear-headed. She's made her decisions, and we'll help her maintain that position. I was like, yeah, thank you. That's so cool.
That's what we can do.
Helps me, because I love my mom, and I realized that in the end of the day, and this is a very light subject. I know everybody out there, but but I will say, at the end of the day, we have a sense of humor about it because she's just like, I'm at the age where if I want to say this and do this, then I'm just going to do that, and you got to respect that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to protect that. I'm going to make sure she always has that option.
Probably happens to different people at different ages, but at some point you just reach the age where you're like, fuck it.
Yeah. It's like, it's my life. It's like, no doubt. It's my life.
I've lived, however, for so long that it's almost like, You're not going to change my mind now, even if you're right.
Yes,
I'm
I know.
set in my ways.
I know. It doesn't matter how many times we're like, Mom, it would be better if you just did this. And
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
just like, no. And I'm like,
I don't even try with
That's
mine
fine.
anymore. I find out what she wants, and then we work some version of that.
exactly. 100.
You were there the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Shifting
Oh,
gears from Mom, now
Jesus.
that we know that Mom's okay,
She's
because
great.
you said she's
okay.
gone home from the hospital.
Yeah, she's gone home. She's at home. She's got her wine. Everything's fine.
wine
Yeah.
drinker?
No, she's
She
a
used to be
big
a wine drinker, too.
Really?
Red or white or both?
Mostly white, actually, these days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Day drinker.
White. She's been drinking.
That's fun.
That lady drink.
I don't know if you drink or not. We used to drink, and we used to drink pretty good because of the world of hospitality and all that stuff.
Oh, of course. So
And
much.
It was just rough. Everything with her was drinks and meetings and whatever, and everybody was like, how many bottles should we get? And,
Right.
we don't. Neither one, with her health and everything, neither one of us drink anymore.
Yeah,
but
I
we
never
could have
drank.
put anybody over under the table at one point. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
I look back at photos from those days, and I don't recognize myself in my eyes. Her either. It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
I get it.
It's really weird.
Well, it's like we all go through these periods of time where we're just kind of like, I'm going to try this for a while. Or it's just built into your culture, right? So like you're in the industry and there's like a strong culture. The industry itself self-perpetuates it. It's like every show I watch, it's like, do you want to get a drink? Oh, God, I'm going to need a drink. Oh, what a stressful day. I guess I need a drink. Do you want to meet for drinks? I want to
Hoda
have a
and
drink.
Cotby, they're having wine on the Today Show at 9 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. Like, what the shit is that?
And it's like, nope.
We're just telling people that's fine. Drink at work. Drink on
Yeah.
television.
They're like, don't do drugs. It's like, guys, alcohol is a drug. I'm sorry to. I know you don't want it to be. It's because it's just like a liberal that you see it on billboards. You see commercials for it, and it's like it's not a drug. It's just something that we do every day. It's like coffee. It's like no, man, it's a fucking drug. So fuck you. No, just kidding. Just leave.
What a perfect segue to.
Perfect.
All right, so this is a beautiful piece of artwork that was sent to us. All right, so if you can't tell what this is.
I like that you said beautiful.
Well, I like the artwork. I do
Sure.
like the artwork.
Sure.
I don't understand it,
No,
which
that's
is why
it.
we need people's help.
Yeah, the beauty
but
thing.
if this were large, like if this were even this size maybe, but say this was a giant... Nobody can hear me. Say this were really big, I would totally... I like the colors, I like the style.
Yeah.
I like the bizarre... I like that I don't get it. If it were big, I might put it on the wall, but I want to see if people can help me get it. So what we have here is a 356 on a pool table, like sitting on a blue felt pool table with the 1 and 5 ball showing. Now, it could just be that this is a 356 on a pool table with the 1 and 5 showing.
Yep.
But those are a lot of choices to make for no reason whatsoever. So Reggie and I would like to know exactly what this means. Somebody the other day said, oh, well, the 356 is the cue ball. And I was like, oh, I mean, okay. But again, I go, why?
Yeah.
I still like it, but it's
Yeah.
dogs playing poker. Like, whose decision and why?
Yeah. It's like folk art. It's like folk art in your grandpa's garage or something like that. And
My
like
racist grandpa?
Yeah, your racist grandpa, which are the best grandpas. But like, yeah, it's one of those. It's just like I looked at it. I'm just like, it just immediately puts you in this like, I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know what's happening. But meanwhile, like the art that this is good. The
Is
quality
it-
is good.
I mean,
the
is it-
picture is like I really like it.
There's
I
something.
wish I understood it. I feel
Can
too
I see it
stupid.
for a
It just
second?
makes me feel dumb. Is my problem.
I mean, was this? Oh, I see. So it's a form of painting. Is it a digital painting? Maybe, I guess it is a digital painting. 15 years of, I don't know.
I know.
It's
Because we thought, oh, well, if all the balls were there except for the 3, the 5, and the 6, but the car's there instead, like, oh, okay, I get that. We couldn't. It's probably really simple.
there's no clue on the back.
No, it's not supposed to be a riddle. I'm the one who's looking at one. It's supposed to just be a lovely gift, and here I am looking a gift horse in the mouth, going, well, what's it mean?
I think I kind of know what it is. I think what it is that the 356 was probably designed in 1915, and they shelved it. They shelved the design for a really long time.
Wait till after the war.
Yeah, wait till after the war. Someone knew that the war was coming, and they're like, you know what? If we start on this program, it's like we're gonna waste. There's potentially we're gonna waste the opportunity. So they sat on it, And so that's kind of what it is. It's like the uncertainty of making a shot.
There we go.
And so, yeah, so 1915, the 356 was actually designed for the first time.
There we go. And
So
now
that's
we
it.
have the real history, the encyclopedic history
that's
that
what
we
it is.
can, yeah.
That's
All
what
right,
it
so
is.
everybody knows. Now we know.
It's probably the only thing it could be.
Anyway, I'm grateful for it. This is from, is it Atomic Age? You know, the guy in the Canary Islands who makes really cool cars out of paper? Sounds like a joke, but it's
sick.
not.
Wow.
Like he would make my car out of paper or something, and he would send it to you, and it's like
love
paper
that.
mache, but like it looks like our car, but it's kind of crinkled and it's paper.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Oh, I love that.
So I like your art, and I like this as well, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it too because it's nothing but a infinite loop. It's like you think, it's a fractal. Essentially, it's like you try to choose a location where you think the fractal pattern is emerging
Will
from, and then
be,
you realize
yeah.
that there is no.
You
that
were
was
wrong.
you were wrong.
Yeah.
and you will always be wrong.
Did you ever play the video game Portal? Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I love
It
that.
was crazy. It broke my mind. I couldn't. I was too linear at the time to actually get. I was like, I can't do it. Forget it.
This hurts.
Yeah, back to Grand
Hurts
Theft
me.
Auto. Are you a gamer? Do you game at all?
Yeah,
You do.
I do. Yeah.
Like a lot? A bit?
Yeah, a specific only like
2 or 3 games.
one main game and then 2 games that I slowly am nibbling at. But
This is me too. But what are your games?
the main game that I play is The Division 2. Tom Clancy's The Division.
Oh, is that a
2.
shoot 'em game?
Yeah, it's a third-person shooter, cover shooter.
Okay.
And I can't stop playing
Is it the story or is it the gameplay action that you like?
It's the gameplay action because it's trying. My whole thing is like, well, obviously doing well. It's all tactics. So it's like, well, where am I going to hide for cover? Where am I moving up to next? Like, where is someone coming in from? Are they going to come in from these doors or whatever? They're going to send in more guys, and I'm going to be stuck in the middle. I'm going to be ambushed, whatever. But you can play with other people, and they're just random. So like, I'll be playing my own game, just like free roaming around Washington D.C. and like you end up doing the same things over and over
That's
again.
me in Grand Theft Auto. Yeah.
But I don't care.
No, me neither.
It's just like, oh, well, I'm going to like do this like control point. I'm going to do another control point and another control point, and I know this control point by heart now, so now I know where to stand. Whatever. But
I blow people up at the hospital or find a tunnel or something.
Yeah,
Kill
yeah.
people on a bus. Whatever.
Yeah, but it never stops. It's always a challenge, and it's always great. But
What do you use it for? I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you use it, like, is it for R&R for you? Like, I don't actually intend to get any further in Grand Theft Auto. I literally use it to unscramble my brain for a half an hour before, like, settling down to watch a movie or something.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
is that what you'll just dial it up for a little bit to kind of unwind, or will you go for like those 6-7 hour sessions and like go hard and like, I gotta finish the game?
It depends. If there's like, there's like the game has the initial storyline. Once you finish the storyline, then it just becomes kind of open world.
Okay,
kind of thing,
we're on the
right?
same exact page. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So like, and then they'll have these DLC things that'll come along,
Sure.
and suddenly they'll be like, oh, a new mission is up, and there's like a new badass, like really, bad crew of people that need to be taken down. It's
Grand
always
Theft Auto
5.
does that all the time too.
Yeah, so you have a new mission, right?
Cool.
And then you like do the mission, but what I love about it is that you can play with other people. So I'll be playing by myself, and then also it'll say like agent in need of backup or whatever, and then
You're like, I'm on my way.
yeah, totally. Yeah. Scroll to the map, and you like see where they're at, and you can kind of see the stats and what they're doing. Are they free roaming? Or are they doing a mission or whatever? I never really even pay attention. I just immediately join a person's game, and then you're just helping someone with a game, and you're all working tactically together.
Are
and
you
it's
on
beautiful.
the thing talking as well, or are you just sitting
Very
there watching the TV?
Seldom, because I'm disappointed at the people when you start talking to people. It's like,
Yeah,
a
no,
lot
I
of
can't do
times
that either. That's why I was asking.
Some racist, like kind of sexist, racist shit. It's kind of like the stuff that I care about too much that I don't want to. I would rather just play. I don't
Yeah.
need to hear the person's voice.
I don't play online for that reason. I play Grand Theft Auto just for fun, and then the Forza I like.
Oh, Forza,
because
nice.
I
Do you have a steering wheel or are you using the joystick?
I'm still using the controller because I went and I went to the like maybe $2,500 route
Yeah.
of like that level of
Yeah.
steering wheel, seat, and all the stuff.
Yeah.
And I did a review on it, and I was like, "All this stuff
You didn't
sucks.
like it?
All this stuff sucks. You got to really get into like the 10 grand Fanatec, all the real digital
Right, the
stuff to
real
really
stuff.
feel it all. Otherwise, for me, I was like, toy, and I'm better with the thing.
Really?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me.
see,
Not everyone agrees with that, but that's how I felt when I tried it.
I can't do joysticks for driving games. Like if there's a driving component to a game, I will use the joystick. Of course, it's easy.
I'm sure if I learned on the wheel first and then tried to do a joystick, it would probably be the opposite. But because I've been playing Forza on a fucking controller for 12 years or whatever since it came out.
Yeah, I mean,
used to
I,
it.
I get that, but it's just like for me, it's like trying to thread a needle, you know, and you're not quite able to do it. Like that feeling, like you know, like I feel like I'm going mad. Like that's
because
me
I know I
on a
can do it.
controller.
Why can't I do it?
Yeah, I'm just like the car's like that's the thing about like. I watch a lot of what is that guy called? I watch this dude. He's like got the best rig that you can imagine.
Oh, the guy with the $100,000 rig where the seat moves around and all the stuff.
Yes,
blows air in his ears and all that.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's I'll get his name.
He's
right
got
now.
a YouTube channel which shows him racing and stuff, and is like the seat moves around and stuff.
Yeah. It's God. What's
It
the name
shifts
of it?
back and forth. It's on a rumble thing. The whole thing like shakes.
Why do I have full bars and it's like it can't fucking work? Okay, here we go.
Because we're utilizing all of the internet in this place right now.
Oh, here we go. Here it is. It is. The
guy's got the.
Boosted Media.
That's it. No, but the guy is somebody different. But he's got the
Well, that's the one dude. He's one dude, but
that's his name, Boosted Media?
That's his channel is Boosted
Okay,
Media.
go follow
but
Boosted Media.
He created. Yeah, definitely check out Boosted Media. This guy's awesome. He's an Aussie dude, and he's just built. He and his friend have like. You know, they're just like engineering nerds and passionate about sim racing and so forth. And he's created this rig, but he's created it for people to watch him driving.
Right.
So it's all like the camera's mounted just on the edge of his eyes, so you get that direct view. And then the screens, he's got a 3-screen setup, and it's calibrated so that from the camera's point of view, the graphics of the car he's in mixed with the actual steering wheel that he has, which he has like, you know,
it looks like it matches.
State of the art. It looks, you know, there's like a couple hints here and there, but you kind of don't realize that it's graphics with just a little bit of a real steering wheel.
And we talked about this as well, but he blends the edges of the screens with some kind of plastic diffusion stuff.
Yes.
So you kind of don't really even see the lines. Like you really got to look for it.
Yeah, you really got to look for it. And he's using we didn't realize this, but I actually want to get one. They make these gaming monitors that they're called large format gaming monitors or something like that.
What are they, faster refresh rate or something?
Yeah, they're like 120 refresh rate. And in fact, there's a prototype that just came out. It's 500. So who knows if that makes a difference? But they make these gaming monitors, but they're massive, and that's what they're using. They're using 3 of these massive gaming. I forget what they are. They're like 65 inches or something. Like
I
that.
remember them being 60 or something. Huge. They were huge,
crazy, huge. But
it's got to screw with your sense of reality. It's got to be surreal, like your screws with your equilibrium and stuff. I would imagine.
Oh well, plus with the motion rig.
That's what I mean. All of that stuff with screens that big.
I know.
It's like IMAX.
I want it. You know, I want to go to a place, and I think Matt Farah gave me the address of some places by the airport that has like full, super professional, badass.
I forget the name of it, but there are a couple.
Yeah, and I really want to do that because
let's go sometime.
Let's
go do it.
Let's totally go. Yeah, we'll like film
we'll set
some
it
stuff
up
or whatever.
exactly. And
I
they'll
would
let us
love that because I tried the VR version of it at Pekla. Bad idea. Don't do it.
Me too.
It
I
makes you
talk
so
about the
dizzy.
motion sickness.
It's gross.
I can't snorkel either, but
this is gross. I hate this. Like that was, and you know, and I'm a VR guy. I was doing VR pretty hard for a while. And now I've kind of backed off of it. But
Oculus back then?
No. I was doing like HTC. I was doing like the Vive Pro. I have like probably 6 different headsets.
Did you find it gimmicky? Like, I'm sorry to bounce around everywhere. Sorry, everybody.
So
now it's just
keep
us
it down.
having a
This isn't for
conversation.
you
It's
guys.
time to wrap it up, but we're just shooting the shit.
Guys, don't tell anybody this. We're just having a private conversation now. You guys can go like cook stuff or whatever, but don't listen to this part. So what?
Don't even remember. It seems so fatty to me. When I put it on, I was like, I didn't really, and I knew I could get used to it and get adjusted to it. I knew I could acclimate. But it just, once I did it, while there was a cool factor and an amazing, wow, holy shit, this is the future, I also felt like, or is it just a total fucking gimmick? Like, we're going to be living in the metaverse and everything. We're all going to need that shit, right? Unless we're going to have rooms like this in our house with big green screens or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of goggly headset. So
Yeah.
we're if I want to live in the next X amount of years, I guess I got to acclimate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The main problem with VR is if you want really good VR, if you want a great VR experience, You're talking about a $4,000 computer, at least. You're talking about a graphic card that can really handle all the crunchy numbers. And then you've got a headset that has a good field of view, that has really high resolution
So
per
there's a
eye.
lot of variables I wasn't playing with.
Yeah, like how tall is the image do you see, so you're not like seeing everything through a night's visor,
Yeah.
And you've got like a bigger field of view. The motion tracking has to be like spot on, so you have lighthouses. Is it inside out tracking? Is it outside in tracking? Is it a hybrid system? Then you've got a big ass HDMI cable like hanging off of the rig, so you have to be careful of where the cord is, and then you've got these controllers, which are dope, but like you can't do fine motor skills stuff with it. It's really like we're at a point where we're getting closer because headsets are now getting smaller now, which I'm really excited about. But they need to be small. You need to be able to slap them on like a pair of ski goggles and just have them on. They're on. You put them on. They're ready to go.
No more futzing with it.
Yeah, it's like starting the program, waiting for the headset to sync, waiting for it to boot. Oh, suddenly there's an update now. It's like, I just want to jump in.
These were my complaints with the steering wheel and all that other shit. It was kind of the same
Exactly.
thing. It was like just getting it all to work was a hassle.
Just fucking work.
I like turning on the Xbox and fucking racing
I know.
because that's what I'm using it for,
100%.
I don't want to warm up my equipment.
No.
I do that in here.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. It's like all these. I think for people to adopt things, and Quest is, they're doing good. They sold more Quest 2s were sold than Xboxes.
Seriously?
Year. Yes.
Well, is that because of the constraint, the supply?
Oh, the supply chain
constraints? 'Cause
maybe had an effect on it.
They're still sold out of Xboxes for a year and a half or whatever. Like you still can't get one.
That could be it. Yeah, that might be it. But I mean,
either way though, that
they
means
sold a shit
those
ton,
are
though.
numbers in the market. Yeah.
Yes, and it's and as much as I fucking loathe Facebook, it's like I applaud their Quest division for like pushing it, and hopefully we're going to see headsets, and then ultimately when Apple releases their AR,
that's the answer. That becomes
when that
the answer.
happens, because only they're going to be able to really get it as close as you can get to. Because essentially, what technology is trying to do is to try to mimic what already functions well. So like,
shit.
If you want to write something and you have a typewriter, you just start writing on the typewriter, or even better yet, a word processor, right? Because it's a proprietary device.
Smith and Corona.
All it does is do that, and that's the same thing with me. If I have a driving rig, if I had a sim rig in my house, I don't want to worry about updating. I want the system to take care of itself.
That's it.
I don't want to. And some people love it. They love tinkering. It's like the difference, like talking about cars. Like some people love old cars because they love fucking going in and like, oh, I got to replace this thing. Oh, I bet you it's because of this gasket. Yeah. Oh, I was right. It's the
They're
gasket.
having fun with all
I
of
got
that.
to change. They love it. They love taking care of the maintenance of it. I like shit to just fucking work.
Yeah, because I want to use my thinking for other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time on that. It's not. I mean, for me, it would be a waste of time. For other people, it would be a joyous time. But
I very much agree.
But I just wanted to like, and that's why I always tell people the future is proprietary to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want, like I was talking about, like I love, this is a great thing for many reasons. But if I want to like just take a video or a picture, it's still a little stilted. Like
Agreed.
I still have to like, oh, I want to take a video, and then I do this, and it doesn't go to camera mode right away, and then it goes into another thing, and then I have to end up unlocking it, and then finding the camera thing, and then pressing it.
This is one of those devices, like most devices, I liked a lot more when it did less.
Oh, 100%.
The more this
yes.
does, the less I like it.
Exactly.
The newer, bigger one, like, okay, yes, it is a better camera, but it's harder to use.
Yes, it is.
Everything seems to be buried in menus, and
Yeah.
nothing is just on the surface anymore. It's 10 fucking files down. You gotta, everything's brackets.
I would rather have something that was shaped like this that is just a camera.
That's what we were saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's what you mean by proprietary, just individual.
Yeah.
We call it, instead of one device to do it all, just fucking singular devices.
I want, it's like why I got the DJI Osmo or whatever, like I loved it.
You must love that song that comes with it.
I don't remember that song at all. I've never heard it. I don't know what it is. But
you know how if you have that thing, it's if you don't edit your own thing, but if you just have the little thing like, make a video, whatever, and then there's
got
background
you.
music,
Right.
that, like it's one of 12 tracks or whatever that come with the unit.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, because I never, I never edit. I always I take a moment and then I post a moment. So I don't have that. So I don't have access to that. But I don't know. Someday, hopefully, we'll see.
No worries. There's no pressure. We're gonna have other people shooting your content, Motor Trend and otherwise.
Well, that's what
Haggerty, somebody.
That's what I like. I like seasoned professionals doing what they do. They're really good at all the things that they do, and then I'm really great at what I do because I can come up with cool concepts. I can be a goofball. I can do whatever it is that I intend to do. But I love it when there's like someone who just handles sound and someone who just handles lighting and someone who just handles video, and they love doing it. And what I'm asking them to do is
It's
fraction
not a
of their
chore.
capability.
Exactly.
It's a fraction of their capability.
I love
so
that.
everything stays light, fun, and looks fucking sick. You know, that's my future. That's what I want.
Yeah, I like it.
Thanks.
That's it. That's it. Magic wand. Done. Granted.
Cool.
You've
Turbo
come
S.
on the show, and now that's it. Is there anything that you have coming up that we shouldn't mention? Obviously, you're on the Late Late Show as early as tonight at 12:30 on CBS.
12:30, I guess.
12:35 or whatever, 12:37.
Yeah,
whatever
it's like
it shows
that
up.
weird time, 12:37.
The damn news
So-
screws it up at 11.
So weird. We need that buffer. No, I mean the only thing I have coming up is I'm working on an EP with my friend Brady Keene, who has a music project, a couple of music projects. One called Panther Modern, which you should check out. Panther Modern.
Panther
is
Modern.
sick. Yeah, if you like industrial music, like kind of dance industrial, like Nights Arab, Ministry. Ministry isn't dance industrial, but Ministry, Skinny Puppy, those kind of industrial bands from the '80s. He takes the spirit of that and kind of puts a cool like cyberpunk vibe to it. So it's like really hard but really good.
And you're going to be involved with that?
Yeah, we have a song that we're going to release. It's a single that we made for Looking Glass, which is a holographic display maker, and that released their consumer product called the Portrait. And we made a music video for the Portrait specifically because it's nice, like a holographic.
Awesome.
You know, like
for this device.
For this device, yeah. No glasses needed. You just,
Nice.
It's just like you're just looking at it, and it looks like something, a three-dimensional object behind the glass of the portrait. It looks like there's a full box behind it, and that there's like something inside of it. Wow. Anyways, but we made a project. So we're doing an EP on Brain Feeder, which is Flylo's label, and we're going to be releasing like a 4 or 5 song EP.
Oh shit!
So he and I. So we'll be doing that, and then
you're working on that currently.
Currently, yeah.
Super cool.
And then my book will be out in
My book.
hopefully I think we turn it in July or something like that.
What's your book?
It's an autobiography. It's called Great Falls. I grew up in Great Falls, Montana, and it's about my life, but it mainly focuses around my high school experience there because it was like so amazing,
unique and amazing,
and like and very 80s, and I loved it. And so because I want to turn that into a television show. I want to be able to make it into a TV show about my life in the 80s and growing up as a mixed race kid in an Air Force town. And
killer!
All that.
What format do you see? Like sitcom, single camera, like?
I think it's gonna be a series. I think it's gonna be a series, single camera,
like dramatic series.
I think it'll be whatever. It'll be just what it is. Series. I think it'll be humorous for sure.
But straight humorous.
But it's not gonna be like it's not. It's more like we're just gonna. The humor will be in the situations that we're recreating.
Good.
So
not sitcom-y audience and all that. More like Everybody Hates Chris or Larry Sanders. More that type.
Or Freaks and Geeks or something like that.
Oh, well, perfect.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a brilliant show. So I mean, but it'll have like that 80s. I have a vision for how I want it to feel. And I want it to feel like as close like what I thought it felt like to be back then.
Yeah.
And to have access to all that music like The Cure and Dead Kennedys and Alien Sex Fiend and all those bands.
Absolutely.
So anyways.
I watched Donnie Darko for the soundtrack. I'm one of those guys, so I totally get it.
Yeah. It's because that was, when you're an adolescent, like it's,
that was the soundtrack of our youth.
Yeah, soundtrack is the soundtrack of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the soundtrack is your life. So, so I'm doing that, and and just like some
and I'm on
stuff.
TV every night.
Well, whatever. That's whatever. But
no, I know. I'm so excited for the things you've got coming up, especially because they're a little more you-centric. Which to me is cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I feel like I've got some fun ideas. I think people will really enjoy it. All the stuff I want to make is stuff that I want to get out there because I think people are going to really like it.
Do you still write? Sorry to keep asking questions. Do you still write like for other did you used to write for Conan?
I did not. No. I never.
Did you perform on Conan?
I performed.
You did Conan?
Yeah. So with Conan, it was more like I was living in New York, and then he lost the show, and then the Tonight Show, and then he wanted to do that live tour.
Yeah.
what was it, legally prohibited from being
appearing on television.
Appearing on television tour or whatever. And
they did the whole documentary about it. It was great.
Oh yeah. And I'm in
Conan
it for
Can't
a tiny
Stop.
second, but I was asked to open for that tour.
Oh.
And so
So
because-
that's how you got paired in with that whole group then.
Yeah, Todd Levin. I don't know if you know Todd Levin.
No.
He's a writer, producer, and worked on Conan for a long time. And he pitched me to be the opener.
Wow.
And so it was because of him that Conan saw it and was like, yeah, let's have him. And so that's what it was. So I went on tour. I did that whole tour opening that tour. And then when he got his show and he came back on the air with TBS or whatever, then he would have me as an occasional guest. And
I
so
think that's what I remember. But
Yeah.
I remember you being bigger and your hair being bigger.
Yes, everything was bigger back then. Yeah, I mean my hair is technically bigger now, but I just don't wear it. I don't
kept
wear
it.
it.
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
Because it's too big now, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep it up. It's
But I remember you walking through the curtain, and it was just like big guy, but the big hair. And I put it on for her, and I go, "You have to see this. This guy's hilarious." And I guess it would have been that, like when he first got the TBS shows, probably when it would have been.
Yeah, that was it, 100%. But yeah, and that's probably why.
Did you know that was the first show I ever worked on when I was a junior in high school, and I was
Really?
interning at 30 Rock, and I was working on it the first year when they were not doing well.
Oh my gosh,
I was there for
that's
a lot of
amazing.
it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because that show, he's like one of the only talk show hosts that I really got. I mean, Letterman is fucking whip smart as hell, but he was kind of a different generation.
Sure.
And I had a huge amount of respect and I loved it. But Conan was like more relatable.
Yeah.
Because
Your
he was,
voice.
Yeah, he's a little bit more my voice. He's an absurdist. He's a very silly man.
Silly.
And very self-deprecating.
Smart. Wicked smart and silly, which
Super
is a weird
smart,
combo.
very silly. He grew up Catholic, so I understand that Cath sensibility.
He grew up Catholic in like Boston, so he's
Yes,
got like a crazy
hyper.
Irish Catholic guilt thing going on too.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see it in his
Yeah,
face. You can
sure.
see it.
Yeah.
I see it. I see
That's
it like
awesome.
when he's just like, I'm having fun, but also is this a sin?
Yeah.
Somewhere back there, even though he's still gonna do it anyways. But and he's a redhead, and my mom's a redhead, so I'm half redhead, I'm half Catholic, I'm half black, I'm
Wow, you are a little
everybody.
bit everything, aren't
I'm
you?
everybody.
You're potpourri.
Hi guys, I'm everybody.
Let's do a couple questions
Yeah,
from the
let's do
Instagram
some questions.
audience, just because I don't want to forget about them.
No.
Let's see. Ellie Carspotter wants to know, where did you acquire your fine rice paddy hat?
The people ask that all the time. Amazon.
There you go. Easy enough. Amazon.com. For Reggie, preferred hearing protection for the car.
Oh, sick.
That's a great question.
So glad that he knows that. Yeah. I don't know if people know out there, but I drive my car probably 90% of the time with earplugs. And that
Earplugs or earbuds?
Earplugs.
No shit.
Yeah. That includes the Taycan. But the reason why is because road noise is persistent, and doesn't matter if you have an electric car or a car with an engine, a combustion engine. It's loud. It's a compartment.
Mm-hmm.
It stores noise. It after a period of time, durationally, you start to have some hearing issues because of the constant exposure to a long period of time of noise. So, but to answer the question, I found my favorite earplugs in the world that I can recommend to anybody. They're just the best. They're called Happy Ears.
Yeah.
It's a Swedish company, and they come in 3 sizes. So like when you order them, they give you small, medium, large, so you can figure out what your size is, and then if you need them in the future, now you know your size. But they have a line that's made entirely from recycled plastics.
Ooh.
So and they're very small. And I'll show you though. They're just awesome, man.
That wasn't what you put on the counter? Are they on the counter maybe? There was a couple things you took out that were white.
Those are just the ear pods,
Okay.
or whatever you call those things. Well, maybe I don't have them on me. Anyways, but they're very tiny. They're about that big, and they're very, very flat, and they're ovoid shaped.
Oh, so they're not custom fit for you?
No, they're not custom fit.
Oh,
They
whoa.
just fit for everybody, and they just they slip in, and because they're ovoid shaped, it actually fits more ergonomically with the ear canal.
Then the
'cause
kind you
it's not a perfect
squish.
circle.
Yeah.
So you put them in there, and it's great. And so that's what I use, and everything sounds great. I blast my music, and I drive hard, and
And you're not doing any damage.
I'm not
'cause you're
doing any
protected.
damage. Yeah, and I always have mine because they're so small. It's like sometimes I just stuff them in my sock, because it's like I know I always have earplugs whenever I go to a concert, anything. I always have them.
I'm so impressed. I never knew that. Reggie, how does it feel to be the most popular person in automotive culture right now? Easily eclipsing Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, Louis.
You're making the rounds. I told you hit all the podcasts.
Yeah.
So now the automotive community knows about you.
I
Now
love it.
here you are, and they're seeing you talk about it.
Oh my God.
Was it fun doing all the shows with everybody?
Oh, I love it. It's it's the same thing. Like as I was kind of telling people, I think we were talking about it loosely, but when I first moved to New York into the comedy community, the alt comedy scene there was like just one space. There was a place called Rafifi. It was started by Eugene Merman, Bobby Tisdale, right?
Yeah.
And then I had started there, and at the first show that I did, everyone was like, "Oh, dude, you want to do my show? You want to do my?" It was like that kind of a thing. I just found my family like really, really quickly, and then being in LA and loving driving, and finally getting introduced because of Byron.
He was one of our first guests on this when it was a little podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, love Byron.
He's a wonderful, wonderful individual, and he was the one. He showed up at Best Fish Tacos, which is a comedy night that happens
In Hollywood, right?
Yeah, in Hollywood,
Yeah.
or in Los Feliz.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
East Hollywood.
Eho. But he showed up there and he had he drove his
rolling
brown,
coffee bean?
his
Love
brown
his rolling
Targa for us.
coffee bean.
I was like, "Whoa, who's driving that?" And then after the show, we started talking, and he was like, "Yeah, you gotta come up to this place, Good Vibes. It's really cool on Friday." And I was like, "Oh, sure, I'll go with you." And then I was like, "What? You're getting up that early?" I just didn't
You're like, "Fuck
understand. I was
that."
like, "Why is everyone getting up so early all the time?" And it's like, "Well, how about just 11? Isn't noon good?" But then I went with him, and then it all just blew up.
Yeah.
All it took was one dude. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the regular cats. Came around to the front of my 911 that I drove, and when I spec'd my 911, for some reason, the front lift thing was not checked. And so I didn't have it, and so the bottom lip. Thankfully, Porsche was very generous, and they made that bottom lip only like $100 or something like that. So that's pretty cheap to replace.
You're
but
gonna have to buy a lot of them.
you have to buy a lot of them. It's really chewed up right now because I'm like, fuck it. I'll just wait for it to get super haggard, then I'll change it.
But meanwhile, you checked every box but that one.
But that one, I have no idea how that slipped because that's like I was like in my
the
head.
one
I'm
you
like,
wanted.
That's the most important thing because and here's the thing, Porsche, if you're listening, if you get the 10 millimeter lowered sport suspension on your 911, it should automatically include the front lift.
Agreed.
Axle lift, automatically. It should just because they do that anyways. When you
With other things.
with other things, you check it. It's like, well, if you do this, you're gonna have to negate this, and then this gets added. And
you
you're just
can't
like,
have
why?
a heated steering wheel without the executive package.
But-
And that takes off the other thing, but it adds this instead.
But why though? Because I just want the thing. And so, but anyways, so I didn't have it. But this guy came across. And he's like, "Oh, I see you. You went with the front axle lift option." And I was just like, "You motherfucker!"
But you're like, these are my people.
Yeah,
these are my
totally.
people.
Immediately, I was like, "Oh my god, this is great." And then when we started talking about shit, and I was like, "Oh, they're not getting bored." Like, you know what I mean? Like when I talk about car shit, I'm starting
Normally,
to talk
your
about
regular
stuff.
friends are like, all right, well,
Yeah.
tuning out.
Yeah, they're just totally tuning out. I'm like,
Wrap it up.
okay, well, I guess I'll just stop talking about that. But anyways, it's really cool. Check it out. Bye. But instead, everybody's just like continuing to talk and continue to talk. I was like, wow, this is an amazing crew of people.
When are you going to lower your Taycan and put 18-inch wheels and neon underneath and hover around LA asking for a friend?
Yeah, they're talking about fuck shit stack.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all. I was like, why am I even having to say these words to him?
There's a reference in the song where I say like, you buy a piece of shit car.
Oh, this is from your music.
Yeah, for the music, fuck shit stack, and like, yeah, you lower the motherfucker, put some 18-inch rims on the motherfucker, put some neon underneath it, so when I roll around this town, it looks like I hover, and yeah, that's just like a quote from that. I'm probably not going to, but someday maybe I'll put some neon underneath the Taycan. That would look kind of cool.
Do you consider yourself a musician over comedian or comedian over musician? Do you even care?
I think I'm both. I think if I had to say like. I'd say probably like I was a musician more of my life than a comedian, but I was always interested in making people laugh. Always.
But I think, because I found you through comedy, through I think that Conan thing, I think of you as a comedian, and then you're up on the, I guess that's our world as well.
Yeah.
But then you're up on the crest, and somebody else who was really excited to meet you as a fan of yours knows you through music.
Yes.
And then it was like, it sort of, the dominoes started to fall in my head, and I was like, oh, right, probably a lot of people do.
Right.
And it's just not my world contemporary music is not really. I don't know much about it. I'm still living in the '90s. When it's my music.
Honestly, I don't know a lot about contemporary music. I just I look for the stuff that I like. But I'll play with anybody. And plus, like most of my music, like my comedy, is improvised. So I don't really classify it necessarily as anything.
Oh well, then I want to play with you sometime because I came up through jazz. So I'm a big fan of.
What do you play?
Drums and piano.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. I mean, not in a long time.
Yeah. But
I was really good when I was little. Yeah, I used to do sessions in New York City and stuff when I was a kid.
Sick.
Like when I was little.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was going to do that professionally until I went and took an NBC tour and saw the Letterman show and Saturday Night Live and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I guess this is something even more technical to sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got bit by the bug.
When did you get into Porsche, though?
Roughly the same time, like 16, 17, something like that. But when my dad died, I took like 10 grand and I bought a 944 turbo. So I bought an E30 first, an E30 325 first, and then after a short time, like a year, I bought that 944 turbo. So I was a 19-year-old driving a 10-year-old Porsche that was made fun of for not being a Porsche, but
that's right.
Now that we're where we are and the world is where it is, I'm the guy who was driving a 944 turbo when I was 19 years old, driving to news radio and to 30 Rock and shit like that.
I love that.
Crazy pants.
I love that.
So I guess it was that early, but then I was I did BMW in the middle.
Right.
It was that one Porsche and then the yellow car you see. There was nothing in the middle.
Yeah, I will. That's cool to hear because I feel like if you like cars, I want to try all of it. I mean, I've rented every kind of car you can.
Oh, I've driven every car. Yeah, every car out there, especially back then when I was a kid. Oh God, we got to wrap it up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Get you out here. My whole thing was that I would go test drive all of the cars. I would hit the auto mall on a Saturday with some crazy story about whatever the heck, and it was always kind of half true. But I'd like borrow my mom's Audi and like go, you know what I mean, so that you pull up front, like, oh well, he can afford it, so whatever.
Yeah, right.
And I would just test drive everything right down the fucking thing, and always, no matter when something new came out, and they always knew me. It was like I was a car reviewer as a kid, right? Because I would tell my parents' friends what stuff to buy.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know what I mean? Like Spike had that show Matchmaker or whatever, and it was like I was like that as a kid.
Oh God, I love it. I mean, I love it. It's funny. It's like I like all cars. I'm interested in all of them, but I always keep coming back to Porsche.
You were born in Stuttgart. It's in your blood.
I was born in Stuttgart, man. Fuck it. I'll embrace it.
That's amazing.
I don't care anymore. Now I'm just like, you know what? I love Porsche. Okay, is that okay? I love Porsche.
There's so much more to talk about. Please just come back some other time if you don't mind. All right, cool. I love you. How do we follow you? Reggie Watts on Instagram.
Reggie Watts on Instagram. Reggie Watts on
Twitter,
and then I think YouTube is Reggie Watts as well. I don't really do much on YouTube, not YouTube. It's Utah's version of YouTube. That's I think. Oh, and TikTok is Reggie Watts.
Oh, you're on TikTok. Oh, I bet you're big on TikTok.
I'm TikTok. Hey, I bet you are very big on a TikTok. No, it's funny. I have maybe 9 videos, and they're all just terrible. So I'm.
But follow him on TikTok.
So you can follow me on TikTok. It's Reggie Watts something. It's a Reggie Watts and a number. You'll figure it out.
Reggie Watts 111.
Yeah, Reggie Watts 111. All my shit from now on. Fuck 23. Really quick.
Yeah.
I just want to say that the 323. The interesting thing about 23 is that.
Oh yeah. We have a thing with numbers.
We have a thing with
yours
numbers.
Is 23.
Yours is 111. Mine's 23. And my birthday's on March 23rd. And what's funny is that the airing of the Late Late Show was supposed to be at a different date, but it got pushed back, and then it ended up being March 23rd.
You're shitting me.
Yeah. So the very first Late Late Show gig or show was aired and taped and aired on the 23rd of March, my birthday.
From TV City, which is area code 323.
Which is area code 323, yeah. And technically, if it could, the show could end in 2023. So we'll see.
Is that a contractual?
Yeah, it might.
Well,
we don't know.
That'll be interesting. You'll have to come back around that time. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I like how Howard Stern would go off the air every 5 years too. You know what I mean? It worked out really well for him. I hope it works out equally well for you.
I hope so as well. That's my.
You got a Turbo S coming in.
I got a Turbo S in April, man. I got to keep that thing ship shape.
All right. Tomorrow we are back with the Motoring Club. Michael Rapetti will be here from the Motoring Club, and then Thursday we've got a double booking. It's Johnny Lieberman and Adam Ferrara.
Woo!
Because one of them will probably cancel. We'll see.
Lieb it to Beaver. Is he more consistent?
He's one of our most frequent guests, especially because he books himself, which I love. Him and Magnus are the best. They're like, so I want to come back on your show, mate. And Johnny Lieberman's like, yeah, I should probably come back on your show, huh?
Yeah.
Last time he had
Very
the COVID
good.
scare,
Very
so
good.
he didn't come in.
Yeah, that's right. He was under COVID. So, yeah, but he
So
didn't
I'm
get
thinking
it.
he'll make up for it by being here. I'm thinking.
Oh, you're right. He will.
Yeah.
He's. Yeah, I love that guy. That guy is so cool. He's been nothing but.
He loves you.
Great. Yeah,
It was a very cool moment on the show watching him fawn over you because his kid knows you from a show.
Storybots. Yeah.
When your kid knows somebody like
It's different.
and you're able to like, oh, I know that guy. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get him to wave to you on a picture or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
He's God. He's God.
Yeah, he's like, the connection is made.
It's the best. I love you. We love you, Reggie Watts, so very much.
Coal rocks.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being my new friend. We love all of you at home. We'll be back on Thursday with those guys, like I said. And that's it, right? GVBC on Friday. All right.
GVBC.
Shout out to Dasha, the Russian weather girl.
Yes.
GVBC. See you out there, everybody.
Spasiba. I would say, like, you could do a charity with GVBC and it would say give back, but it would be capital
Reggie.
G, capital B. Oh,
Hey, say bye.
yeah. So like you could give back. GVBC gives back when you just put those letters in there so you can capitalize.